that happened last week. And it doesn't scrape the surface of everything that went on that week. I met loads of incredible players and celebrities within the game, including a former Ballon d'Or winner, referees, presenters, players, former and current. Insane. And then I went and attended 2 of the 3 Premier League Summer Series games in Philadelphia. Let me tell you about it all. Soccer Shots partnered with the Premier League to put on a series of events throughout the states, hosting the summer series. And here in Philadelphia area, we put on a summer camp for local school children in Philadelphia from Monday to Friday. The coaches from the Premier League were community initiative and school coaches from Brighton and Hove Albion, Chelsea, and from Soccer Shots, we had a group of coaches went and helped deliver the sessions for the children, and we were also given continued professional development, which means basically seminars, sessions, workshops from the Premier League to enhance our coaching abilities and skills and practices provided by Adam Lee. Adam Lee basically works with the Premier League to develop course content to aspiring coaches around the world. He delivers sessions as far as Indonesia and Botswana. The day was divided into basically 4 parts. Adam delivers the session. Every day is a different theme. Now, what Soccer Shots is, it is the children's soccer experience throughout the United States and Canada. It's an enrichment program helping develop motor, social, character, and soccer skills. We don't have travel teams. We don't have competition at all. We're just geared towards children's development through soccer. And that was also the focus of the 3 coaches that we worked with over the week. They were such good people. We had Sam Martle from Chelsea Football Club. He is the school education manager there. So basically provides programming, soccer programming for within schools in London. We also had Coach Sam from Fulham, where she also works with the Fulham Foundation with communities around Fulham Football Club. We had Coach Matt from the Brighton Hove Albion Foundation, and Dan Edwards. He is a personal trainer that has worked with Aguero, Neymar, David Beckham, Cristiano Ronaldo. He's worked at the BBC, appeared on MTV. He's worked at QPR. He's a qualified UEFA coach. Well, has also worked with schools and charities and local communities. All 4 of those, of course, alongside Adam, who would deliver the professional development session at the start. After that, the children arrive and we deliver the session. There would be 3 parts to this. A part upstairs, the practical part, where we teach a new skill every week, similar to what Soccer Shots does. Coach Dan had the bulk of the warm-up, the start of it, where we would play different reaction and attention span games. Coach Sam would take over in the practical part and teach the new skill and progressively go through a game until we reach the final boss, the meat of it, where we'd have 2 teams. It would get all competitive, and it was a lot of fun. Now, Coach Sam on the Wednesday provided myself and Coach Raj the opportunity to coach the session. We learned so much from her. It was about tricking the children into thinking they're being instructed when really it is just we ask a question, they answer, and that builds on to a new phase of the skill or of the game. So we were teaching defending. And when a kid learns about defending for the first time, they will just go and want to win the ball. But by the end of it, we were showing examples of kids that have actually tried to stay patient, bend their knees down, shuffle across, have an eye on the ball, and wait for the right moment to pounce. It was magic. Such a tremendous experience. I used that strategy of progressively building towards a final thing by just Q&A. I went on one of the days to a session that I was coaching and coached scrimmaging the same way, how kids all attack the ball at once. Now I had to go and teach spacing, and it worked. And that's just one basic example of how the strategies that we as Soccer Shots coaches were taught have actually worked. Now, on the flip side, they were gracious enough to actually go and watch our sessions and learn from them. So they had I'm so jealous that I wasn't there. I'm so jealous. They were at Fieldhouse, which is a recreational center in Philadelphia, and had a summer series event, summer series day there. They had lots and lots of children where we essentially ran a soccer shot session. They would help us and they would apply our strategies. Our strategies are centered around, we don't use the ball all the time. We try to use the ball as much as possible, but the start of it is focused on that character development and those social skills. And then later on, we start very, very simple and progressively build towards the fun game, which is the culmination of the skill that we would learn for the day. So let's say the most fun example I like to give is shielding. So when you have the ball and someone is trying to take the ball and you kind of shield the ball from the defender on your back, and the theme for that day would be superheroes. And who's the superhero that wears the shield? Captain America. And you wear the shield on your back and you show the shield and shield the ball. And then we play the fun game, and all the kids are wearing the shield, showing the shield to the defender and shielding the ball, and it's a success, and that sort of thing. We use themes to incorporate the skill and make it make sense for the younger children, whereas the Premier League coaches that were there go with the Q&A approach. And every question, the answer that the children give would make more sense as time goes on. So we both learned off of each other all week until we reached the Friday. Oh, the Friday. Oh, the Friday. From Chelsea in Matson, Diego Moreira, Gary Cahill, and Zach Jalab was there. And from Brighton and Hove Albion, lovely people. I got to talk to the Brighton players more than the Chelsea players because I was with them most of the time. Jan-Paul van Hecke, Joe Veltman, had a bit of a conversation with Joe Veltman and Danny Welbeck. What a guy. Shame about the quality of the picture here. I don't know what happened. It wasn't my phone. It is what it is. We move. But I had like a good long conversation with him. So we were downstairs. The kids were doing some activities. And then my water cup was on a table next to him, and I went to drink the water. So I thought to myself, okay, I'll go drink. I'll go get my cup and have a chat with Danny Welbeck and introduce myself. And he was so receptive to it. I knew that morning that there would be actual players showing up to that whole media day. We knew about a media day, and we knew it would be a bigger day. We didn't quite know what was going to happen. And we were surprised in the morning that there are actual players coming in. And my thought was, oh my God, I hope Mitoma shows up. He didn't end up showing up. It's fine. But I also thought, like, are they going to be into this? The place doesn't have any AC. Like, it's just a kids program. Like, are they going to really be involved in this? But they were. And they posted in social media about this. And you'll see in some of those pictures how engaged they were with the children and with us. And, they seemed to be really into it. And they were engaged in conversation with any of the coaches or the directors or any of the personnel working at United that talked to them. Danny Welbeck was really cool. He basically asked me, like, what do you do? Like, how does this work? And how long have you been there? And basic questions like that. And then we had to move on upstairs. Joe Veltman had a bit of a conversation with him. Coach Raj more than myself. I kind of joined in after a little while, but he was talking about like his youth career and how he thinks of Philadelphia and whatnot. And importantly, we had a Q&A session with Fabian Delph, former referee Martin Atkinson, and current assistant referee James Mainwarning. Got to ask him whether there were any particular lessons that stuck with him and he took on for the rest of his career. And he said he grew up in the Leeds Academy with a quote hung up on all the walls: hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. That is something that stuck with him and taught him to work extremely hard throughout his youth career. And that was something that was crucial to him. The bigger piece was the conversation with the referees, because it also included a session upstairs where we ran one of their drills. Let me tell you about it. So that was essentially the professional development phase of the day. And it was all about, affirming your authority as a coach, because they as referees have to do the same thing and kind of command the respect of players, and how we go on about, maintaining our composure when we want to, assert ourselves a little bit more, and commanding that respect, and the importance of of just respect in general in soccer, we got to ask them about the future refereeing. And Martin Atkinson's response, I got to ask this question of whether or not the lack of respect that referees get from fans and from players has affected the development of referees. And he said, yes, definitely, absolutely. Because essentially, who would like to be a referee, and why would anyone like see the referees get so abused? Wouldn't make a lot of sense, right? And then we headed upstairs to the soccer pitch of U90, and we ran a session with them, and it was basically whether to decide a foul was inside or outside the box. I'm pretty sure we got it wrong 80% of the time. So that was that, and then we obviously after that the players showed up and all of the magic happened with the Brighton and the Chelsea cohorts. For me personally, it didn't stop there. I was beyond surprised and privileged and honored to be invited to the Premier League's Summer Series reception. I'll tell you the story that sets the scene for you. I go in the building. I take this elevator. I'm followed by a group of people wearing just like suits and dresses and stuff. I go to the elevator. By the 6th floor, I'm just like looking down, whatever. I pick my head up. Michael Owen is straight at my face, and to the right of him is Owen Hargreaves. That was the first thing that happened at that event. First off, I go inside, I catch up with the coaches, with Matt, Mart, Sam, Adam, and Dan, and we're having a little chat. And then we go, to get some food or whatever, and we run into James Mid-Morning, who was the assistant referee at the session earlier on that day. And then we catch up with him a little bit, and with the other referees that were with him. All the referees were standing together having a drink. And one of those referees was Rob Jones, who Matt and I happened to had like a 20-minute conversation with. Rob Jones, he's like 6'3" and I'm 5'5". But yeah, we had like a long conversation with Rob Jones about like just all sorts. He had like a baggage problem and a jet lag and just like stories from his refereeing career, and how he also brought up the point of players being different on and off the pitch. That lasted for about 20 minutes, and then Rebecca Lowe invites everyone to the guest room. They had a Q&A with Mauricio Pochettino, Pascal Gross, I think it was Trevor Shalba. It was Noni Madueke. It was a private event, and I didn't want to take a lot of photos, in truth, of that. And Roberto De Zerbi. And then the Q&A isn't done. In the middle of those Q&As, I catch up with Ahmed Al-Mohammadi. He's Egyptian. I'm Egyptian. And then I get to meet Rebecca Lowe. Rebecca Lowe is the host of Premier League's coverage in the United States. I've been watching her present pretty much every Saturday for 7 years straight. We just like exchanged stories, and I told her, where I come from, what I do, and she was like, "Yeah, I wake up at 3:30 every morning, and I have to fly cross country to get to the location for the filming." And she was so great. She's ever enthusiastic. Got a little selfie, and then we moved our separate ways. I went to Robbie Earl, just over her shoulder was Robbie Earl, one of the analysts I've been watching for 7 years straight on Premier League mornings. He happened to know Adam Lee quite closely because they worked together before. But after all of this, there was still the Saturday and Sunday where the actual games happened. Now, I filmed a few bits and pieces from the Chelsea-Brighton game, which finished 4-3 to Chelsea. It was the highest quality game I have ever seen live by a distance to second place. And here is, basically a mini vlog of that game. Enjoy. Brighton are encouraging. Oh, it's great. Hello. Hi. Brighton are encouraging the press so much. Encouraging the Chelsea press so much. But Chelsea are actually, they're pressing.
and then they're like standing. Oh, Mitoma might be in. Yeah, that's sweet. But when Chelsea press, they don't like press, like they don't attack the ball. Like they press and then they wait for where the pass is going,
Right.
and force the pass. And
So
then
they want to force the passes where, like, specific areas of the pitch that they can retrieve them back.
I don't know if it's deliberate, but like they forced already 2 mistakes from a pass attempt that they intercepted.
Right.
Rather than like winning the ball back. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah. So they're cutting the passing lanes, but like with a really high press.
Like they're pressing all the way up to the player.
Ball, that.
Oh, Mitoma.
That was it.
He's right in front of us. This is unreal. Oh,
Nice.
Malagusto's had a phenomenal game. Danny Welbeck. At some part of this video, you will have or will hear my story with Danny Welbeck. I love this man. Chelsea goal. Christopher Nkunku. One of the ugliest goals ever, but it was coming. It's been coming, especially before the break. To be fair, like there was a nice 1-2 in there. The flick from Nkunku to finish itself was good, but there was a lot of fluff involved. 1-1, 30 minutes gone. It's definitely slower than your typical Premier League game, but it's so much fun. But oh, that's fun. Malagusto just fouled Mitoma. That's been the most fun thing about the first half, because they play like right in front of us here. That's been so much fun because Gusto's having, I think, the best game out of everyone. He's man of the match. And Mitoma's just Mitoma. Like, you just admire when the ball comes over and he just like kills it dead.
Yeah.
You can't.
Look, the diagonal ball from Dahoud to Mitoma. Like, it's happened a couple of times. It's really aesthetic.
Oh, there you go.
Nice.
Mitoma?
Yeah.
Dahoud just had a moment where he passed the same ball twice and it was intercepted by Chukwuemeka twice.
He's like he passed it at the same point?
Like, he passed it ricocheted off Chukwuemeka, it came back to him, and then he passed it again.
Nice!
Here comes Mitoma. Mitoma again. Mitoma. Up against Malagusto. Malagusto is just having a phenomenal game. Yeah. You can't help it.
Answering the game.
Second half just started. And the announcer got a substitution wrong. He was getting it right. And then he corrected himself.
Yeah, it's like correction.
And got it wrong. So he was saying, so Kukurea came on for Chilwell. He was saying, leaving the match, number 32. Oh, no, at first he was saying, leaving the match, number 21. Mark, correction. Leaving the match, number 32. Mark Kukurea, who just came on. Just came on. He proceeded to say every substitution that went out.
The opposite way.
He switched them over completely. But yeah, the second half just started. What is the best thing about the first half?
The best thing about the first half is the best thing about the first half for you, which was us watching Malo Gusto battling it out with Kaoru Mitoma. And the second favorite thing was the diagonal ball from Mo Dahoud to Mitoma.
Yeah.
Like, that sequence was really, really aesthetic to watch. But the whole occasion is my first time watching like a live football game at this level. Yeah, so it's been amazing. It's been
sometimes
spectacle.
it happened with Mitoma in particular, but it happened with like throughout the first whole half. Is that I sometimes couldn't help just admire rather than watch.
Yeah.
And just lose focus on what's going on. But there was, speaking of diagonals, there was one particular one where Mitoma actually made a run inside, and then Pascal Grosso was playing left back. He switched positions and he's playing right center midfield. But he was playing left back, and then he overlapped Mitoma. So he was completely free because Mitoma dragged Malagusto over, and that off the ball stuff is really pleasing to me. You don't see a lot of it. Here comes Woodrick.
Go.
Oh.
No decent cross, it's fine.
Bright and red. And it hurts. Jean-Paul Van Hecken. He was there at the camp yesterday. 1, Chelsea. This is a level of football if we see any of the like from Chelsea this season, we're gonna have a problem. This is insane. What a goal! Mikhail Mudryk as well. Like Mikhail Mudryk did stuff now that I didn't think he's capable of. Wow.
It's just so good to watch. Like these types of goals, like we watch like really, really good goals in the Premier League on TV, and it's just like a good goal. But this, like when you watch it in person, is a whole new experience. It's just such, again, aesthetic.
Yeah,
so enjoyable.
And also, as I said before, the level of IQ required to pull off how they are.
Number 13,
We don't see that here.
Entering the match for Brighton, number 37,
insane.
Jensen
We're also just saying, like,
Weir.
during the game when Mikhail Mudryk came in, perhaps jokingly, we were saying like he just has just speed. And then when we watch this and like the 1 and the 2 and then the smash it into the back of the net, you just think like this guy has so much potential.
Yeah.
That I would be really interested to see what he's gonna do this season, because everybody's underestimating him after what he did last season. Like last season, just did.
They did it against Sunmen. It's all right. Do it against 11 first, and then we'll just right.
Yeah.
Out of nothing, really. It's been all Chelsea. And then on the Sunday, I managed to catch about 75% of the second game of the day, which was Newcastle Aston Villa. They were amazing seats. Cheers, Thomas. After the game, I got to take a selfie with Dan Burn. He was such a gem. So we were behind the benches, right? And he went one by one to everyone in that entire row waiting for him to, get an autograph signed, get a soccer ball signed, and take selfies with people. He took a selfie with everyone he could. And he made it to me. He took the selfie, and I thanked him profusely. And that capped off the experience pretty nicely, I think. So yeah, what was it like to work with Premier League coaches for a week? It was pretty freaking sick. I think there was a level of care from the coaches on the Premier League and Sockshot side for each other and for the children that made a difference in how this whole camp went. It was a tremendous success, in my opinion. Hopefully everybody else sees it that way. But I do hope to do this again. I hope to collaborate with all the coaches that were there from both sides. And thanks so much to Adam Lee and Thomas Rocket for putting this together and coming together to put on this effort, and to U90 for hosting the whole event for a week. It's just jam-packed action, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. maybe after every single day. That Friday especially was a big task. Having Roberto De Zerbi there, having cameras chasing him around, and all the Chelsea and Brighton players, of course. But yeah, just thank everyone for this effort, for this collaboration. And when it comes to the podcast, we are back in a few weeks' time. So make sure to go down, hit the subscribe button, like the video, all these things that help a channel out, I suppose. But
But yeah, there are big things coming up. I actually just spoke to the boys today. It's going to be a fun season. It will be. That's the plan. Alrighty. See you soon. Toodaloo. Cheers.
Come on.
Who is this?
Come on.
Ali TV.
This is just another football podcast.
The podcast.
If you want to be in.
I want to be in the podcast.
All right, there you go.